DJ Vlad took more shots at Aries Spears. Aries returned fire. The YouTube streets have gone wild. Content creators and commenters alike have taken sides. The community is divided. And Vlad's about ready to unleash his secret weapon in the war against Aries. Corey Holcomb. Stay tuned. All right, folks, I was very reluctant to do a follow-up video about this because it seems at this point the YouTube streets have been oversaturated with Vlad versus Aries videos. And the majority of the videos are favoring Vlad. And I get it. Vlad has 1 million subscribers. Aries does not. Vlad is signing the checks and Aries is not. So I get the dynamic and everything. But here's the thing to consider. Aries was in the entertainment business longer than Vlad. Aries has been doing his thing before Vlad even came along. And so I ask this, does Aries have anything to lose? I mean, there's people that are saying, well, you know something, Aries hasn't really done a movie in a while. He hasn't done this and done that in a while. And Aries said out of his own mouth that, Vlad has been giving him light, because of the, being on his platform and everything. Okay, all right. Vlad has given him light and whatnot. But, just because people get bumps from appearing on particular platforms or whatever doesn't mean that they didn't have light already. I mean, it's good that, somebody gets additional light, because you can never get enough illumination. But to say that, well, Aries' spark was dim until Vlad came along and gave him a 500-watt light bulb. Come on now. Okay, Aries ain't in big major blockbuster movies. He's not headlining his own TV show and all that other stuff. If you guys measure success on that, okay, that's cool. All right. But, Aries is doing comedy shows. He's featured in different places. He still gets money. So why should he, in you guys' point of view, be this big major superstar like an Idris Elba or what Will Smith was? Why should he be that in your eyes? It's funny how certain people in the comment section or that do videos like myself, all of a sudden they just want to change the goalposts. Instead of just coming out and say, I don't really like Aries Spears, I like Vlad. If you guys just came out and said that, yeah, I would understand your point of view, but you're not fooling anybody. So before I did this video, I watched a few other vids with, past vids where Vlad was interviewing Aries, and there was one that caught my interest. And that was when the whole Marlon Wayans controversy came up and Vlad not wanting to pay Marlon 40 stacks and whatnot. And him and Aries discussing the whole situation and everything. And Aries saying, you should have stood on that instead of apologizing. Now, when I rewatched that interview again, I think in a way it was very prophetic. Because one, Vlad was very messy even back then because he all disclosed that whole discourse with him and Marlon. And two, if Aries was really paying attention, he would have pretty much known how Vlad gets down. So, You come back months later saying, well, Vlad, I want to up my pay and everything. You pretty much had an idea how Vlad gets down and whatnot. And and you know, I'm not really trying to give him advice and whatnot, but maybe it would have just been better if the next interview, if Aries, brought that up in his face instead of just on a text. Because when it comes to this whole so-called war between these two, it just all boils down to communication. Now, Aries on one of his podcasts was like, Vlad doesn't summon me and everything. But, Vlad showed his text messages and was like, yo, how was five and everything. And, Aries got, tied up and couldn't really do five and whatnot. And, I just think that, that whole moment, that whole exchange with them led to a big miscommunication and misunderstanding between them. If those two really sat down and hammered the time and stuck to it and everything, or if Vlad just, called Aries and said, yo, what's up? I thought we were going to do it at this time and all that. And I understand those two are stubborn, and those two have Mount Rushmore or Mount Everest size egos. I get it. And the other doesn't want to bend for the other. One person wants to look stronger in front of the other. I get that. But if these two effectively communicated and sat down and talked, I don't think this would have been that much of a bigger deal. Now Vlad is bringing Corey Holcomb into the equation, or should I say, Corey Holcomb inserted himself into the equation. And previously, Corey Holcomb didn't want to fuck with Vlad and whatnot. Corey Holcomb, didn't want to do Vlad's show or go near Vlad because he when Vlad reached out to him, he wanted Vlad to come on his platform and whatnot. And then he was talking about, yo, why don't we do like a revenue split and everything? And Vlad wasn't down with that because that's not his business model. And one thing led to another. And Corey Holcomb decided to just give him the finger and be like, yo, F you, Vlad. And now, since Vlad had that falling out with Aries, him and Vlad are bosom buddies. Well, we'll see once the interview, or once they do the interview on the 5150 show, because Vlad's going to appear on 5150. And then after he does that, Corey is going to appear on DJ Vlad. So that will be interesting. I'm sure that will get big numbers. My last point is I just think that this, someone mentioned on YouTube that this possibly could be staged. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is, or if this ends with Aries and Corey being on the screen together and they get into either a fake fight or two of them come together and shake hands and Vlad jumps in the camera and they all do a group hug and sing out "Like to Teach the World to Sing." I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So if this whole fiasco is staged, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm just going to be like, okay, you got us. You got us, Vlad. You got us, Aries. We did see this coming. But again, when you do these type of business transactions and everything, I think it's just good that you don't really disclose how much you're going to pay this person or that person. I mean, there were some tabloid shows that would do paid interviews and everything. And even them didn't really disclose how much they paid this person or that person. They pretty much kept that under wraps. But Vlad, he's very messy with it. And he's very messy because he knows that drama brings in views. The views bring in the Google AdSense money. Google AdSense brings in the revenue. Subscribers come in, the likes come in, all that other stuff. So it all accumulates and everything. So he's smart in that regard. He knows that drama is going to bring in the views and is going to increase the revenue. But at the same time, maybe it's just makes good business sense if you do not disclose everything, including how much you pay people, or if you do pay people for interviews. That should be confidential. That shouldn't be nobody's business how much this person or that person is getting paid. Now, I didn't cover everything in all this because, for one, most of the content creators on these YouTube streets, they are covering everything, and some of them are doing a good job at it. And two, I'm kind of getting bored of this topic and I'm ready to move on. So this is pretty much going to be my last word on this because, yeah, there's a part of me that thinks that this is staged, and I won't be surprised if it is. So we'll just have to wait and see. Audience, tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment box. This is Iron Will Media.